Well, putting out their cigarettes on the floor. Two members of Suede here on the couch, Simon and Brett. How are you guys?
All right, how are you?
I'm doing really fine.
Ace.
Great.
First thing I want to know, image. Is image important to a band? A band in general, do you think?
Is it important?
I don't know. It depends how you sort of define it, doesn't it? I think like the kind of like the word image is a bit of a scary word because it reminds you of all those dreadful '80s bands like Spandau Ballet and stuff like that, don't it? But everyone's got an image, haven't they? You know what I mean? You've got an image, and anyone who's watching this has got an image, whether they like it or not. They've got a.
So it is important.
There is a way in which other people perceive them, which is what an image is, I suppose. So it exists. I don't know whether it's important or not.
So when you say I don't know if it's important or not, Suede doesn't really have an image. You guys are not setting an image.
Well, we don't set an image we don't sort of like have a committee meeting in the morning and decide what we're going to wear or anything like that. But we tend to wear similar things because we kind of like we spend a lot of time with each other.
You don't want to clash.
You know what I mean? And like we end up borrowing each other's clothes and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Now, why I started with that question is because you guys really write songs from the feelings, the emotions. It's not that you make songs that rhyme and that's it. And when you write songs about emotions and feelings and everything, I think automatically that has to do with an image, right? Because then your personality comes out.
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah. But you can't really help that, can you? You can't really escape any sort of image, really. It's impossible, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you guys have been around for a while now, and you just flow into a certain direction. Do you like the direction you guys have gone into with the image, with the music? Because a lot of people wonder about that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
we've always
happy where we are.
We've always pretty much done what we wanted to do, which I think is quite an important thing to always, for a band to do, not to get really particularly influenced by other people, and not to get dragged into little scenes and stuff like that. So yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It takes quite a while. I think you've got to be quite firm about what you want to do, and have quite a lot of self-belief and stuff like that. But I think we've always pretty much done what we've wanted to do.
And what is the most important thing that you want to send out, do you think?
I don't know, just good music at the end of the day. You know, you can sort of like try and boil a band's message down to sort of one sentence or something like that, but it isn't really about that at the end of the day. It's you know, what we've always just tried to do is just try to write good songs and put on good shows, and it's very simple, really. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's nothing more complicated than that. You know. Because
to me it sounds very complicated. Now I'm sitting here, I'm asking you questions, and you're answering me like, yeah, well, that is right and everything. So for you guys, it's so, you know, that's the way it is. That is life. But I'm really trying to find out how it is. Because I see you in magazines, I see the critics, I see the comparisons, and then still you have to stay a musician. I think that is kind of...
Well, yeah, well, what happens, you get into a band and you kind of like, you write a few songs, and if you're any good, someone starts writing about you and starts getting excited about you and starts, you know, creating this world around you. But at the end of the day, you know, you're just a musician. I'm just a singer. I write some lyrics, and I've got a brain, and I can sing, and I've got a certain amount of musical talent. But beyond that, it's just a load of writers writing a load of nonsense about you and making stuff up about you, basically. You know what I mean? Because you kind of like, you're writing about music, you've got to try and enhance it and try and make it more interesting than it is. You can't write. You know, it isn't very interesting reading about chord sequences. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want to pick up a newspaper and read, oh, this band has got a chord sequence that goes A, C sharp minor, D, E, sort of thing. You know what I mean? People don't want to read that.
No.
They want to read, oh, this band are kind of like, they're completely mad and...
Do we influence it?
And, you know...
Do you guys really like, we just talked about image, you say, no, we don't go out and say, oh, let's see what we're gonna wear for the image. But do you sometimes sit in a hotel room, for example, and say, okay, listen guys, we have had this publicity, we gotta change that around. We're gonna do something about it? Do you ever have that?
Not at all, no. I don't think I think it's very, very important not to read your own press and not to take it too seriously.
You don't read it?
Not really. Try not to.
Anymore.
Try not to.
You used to.
We used to. When you first start, yeah, you kind of like, you know, it's quite titillating, isn't it, reading about yourself? But now it's just boring. You know, you read one thing and it says that you're God, and then you read the next thing and it says that you're kind of like a piece of dirt, and well, what do you believe? and neither of them's true. You know what I mean? It's like you're somewhere in between.
This is the Music Factory.